Cards to Yards, brought to you by the Adventure Stadium and the Adventure Begins, located on 1488, right next to a big old movie theater. I'm Chaz Graves, and here with me today, Preston Laird and Mark Blair.
Thanks, Chaz. Welcome to Cards to Yards. Preston and Mark here with you. Preston, we are here for the first show in the Adventure Stadium studio.
Yeah.
How cool is that, man?
Very, very cool. Very exciting times at the Adventure Stadium. Glad to have you here. First time in the shop. What do you think?
Yeah. Oh, I think it's great. As you know, Adventure Begins Comics and Games expanded upstairs. Now there's a whole sports contingent. They have a wall of slabs. Well, I saw a lot of wax and packs.
Lots of wax.
Retail, hobby.
Memorabilia.
Some memorabilia. I think I saw a Burt Reynolds signed license plate. Did I see that?
You did.
Okay. I wasn't dreaming that. That would be something I would dream
Bandit
that
1.
existed. I think all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Check it out. Just a very cool, clean place. I mean, just like great ambiance. Going from downstairs to upstairs, wide open space.
Yeah.
I saw some breaking tables for people to come in and break packs, cards. That is cool stuff, man.
Sofas, televisions for people to just relax, have a good time, bust some cards, watch some sports.
Absolutely.
Just a really relaxing place to come and spend some time. And I like to call it a stress-free zone. So when you come into the shop, nothing else matters. We're all family and friends here. We're just going to have a good time with sports and just chill out.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Great environment for that. So it has been a few weeks since we've been able to talk. There's something we need to talk about.
Do we have to?
Do we have to? I think we have to. Here's the thing. We have to be grateful, being that it's Thanksgiving time of year. We have to be grateful that the Astros have been so successful the last few years, because a lot of teams do not get that opportunity. Yeah. So now, did you end up making it to the game?
I did. I got to go to the Game 6 of the World Series. Congrats to the Braves.
Yeah.
Begrudgingly, but you got to give them credit where credit's due. They just put it all together at the right time, and they deserve to win the series. I was there till about the 7th inning, and I couldn't stomach watching Atlanta celebrate, so I took off a little early.
Understandable. Brutal Game 6. Especially just thinking like, okay, now the Astros have home team advantage. They gutted out Game 5. They brought it back to Houston.
Yeah.
All you got to do is win Game 6, then Game 7, anything can happen. And just our biggest fear, just like the year that the Rockets were against the Warriors in the, just streamlining towards the championship. Chris Paul gets hurt, and then they go 0 for 27 from 3 points when they were like 3-point shooting machine the whole season. Astros don't score a run. Game 6.
That game will haunt me till the day I die. When they went 0 for 27. I mean, because if they made 2 of those, then we're talking NBA Finals. Chris Paul doesn't get hurt in NBA Finals.
Paul doesn't get hurt in NBA Finals.
But as you're saying, got a lot to be grateful for.
We do.
The Astros are a phenomenal team. We've been very fortunate to root for them for the last several years, and I'm hoping that we've got another 5 or 6 years that we'll be contending. So.
And before a few days ago, they were the last Houston team to win since Halloween night.
That's true.
But in the spirit of giving, the Texans gave us another win.
Yes, sir.
So they now have 2 wins. They doubled it.
Amazing.
So I was all set to be like, hey, guess what? The Astros are the last Houston team. And I even went to the Dash, the Dynamo. No one was helping us out. Yeah. The only thing we could have said is that U of H is the professional football team, and they've won since Halloween. But it's been rough.
Yeah.
You notice
We're building.
And you notice I have not said that the Rockets have won.
They have not.
They have not. So we'll get into some of that. But so some news that's happened over the last few weeks. As we said, NBA is underway.
Yep.
Cade Cunningham signed an exclusive autograph deal with Fanatics for memorabilia.
Yep.
And the sports apparel company announced striking a deal with him, the number 1 pick, on the day of his pro debut. They have photos, basketballs, jerseys from the former Oklahoma State star. I found on the Fanatics website. And I understand the number one pick aspect. I just don't know if I would run out and purchase any of his stuff just yet.
Yeah, I mean, outside of Detroit, there's probably not a tremendous amount of interest.
Right.
I'm sure there's a decent amount, but not a tremendous amount. Fanatics is, I think, it's a smart business move for them to secure such a large player when it comes to memorabilia merchandise. Their business model is working, obviously, with everything that's going on. I mean, they just keep adding and adding and adding to their pot of yumminess when it comes to the sports world. It's the beginning of probably many more exclusive deals in the future. What do you think?
I think so. I mean, like here's the deal. They're obviously they see this trend in sports cards. They want in on it. They already, as we've said before on the show, they already have outlets in a lot of the stadiums. They already have retail connections. We could start seeing stuff like memorabilia blind packs even.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the possibilities are endless for them. They already sell tons of stuff, licensed, signed on their website as it is.
And we also sell a large variety of Fanatics memorabilia in the shop.
There you go. Yeah. I mean, they're embedded, and they were known for apparel, and then they got into memorabilia, and now they're going to be attacking cards full throttle.
Yeah.
When all those deals finally come to fruition. So no, I think that's right.
But the only thing they're not involved in is equipment. I mean, they're going to start making helmets and shoulder pads and
maybe
baseball gloves and bats. I mean, what's next for Fanatics, huh?
They'd have a full stock ready to be signed if they did that, I guess.
Right.
Just unload them right off the truck, get them signed, and then ship them back out. Now, one cool thing last year, Topps released like a set based in England, or like it had like English aspects to it. I think there was inserts, and it had Britain flag on it and stuff like that. This year, just on the tails of them announcing the deals they made with Japan Baseball, they actually made a 2021 flagship set that is a Japan edition.
Yeah.
And so again, that comes after their contract with Japan's the NPB. Upon Professional Baseball. Now this set's going to be smaller. I think it's 222 cards. 220 cards from Series 1 and 2. And again, similar to the United Kingdom set they made last year.
What was the set we talked about a few weeks? Wasn't there something in Japan they were working on?
That was the NPB. So this is basically just the Japanese version of MLB.
I guess.
So they're really trying to get into that market.
Yeah.
And again, part of that has to do with Fanatics and them trying to like plant other places. So I think that's a cool deal, and obviously Japan is a great professional baseball hotbed.
Yeah, and considering that Ohtani just got MVP,
yeah,
you can only imagine that the excitement and momentum for baseball is only going to be growing in Japan as it has been for the last several decades.
Yeah, they're going to be looking for the next Ohtani also, which probably won't ever happen. I mean, at some point, you got to decide, do we want you to pitch or bat? And after the hitting year he had, I would say just bat full time.
Absolutely. I agree. Stop the pitching and just concentrate on hitting.
It's cool, but if it can only get you 10 wins, put that money into a guy that's going to be able to pitch 35 games and not wreck the chances of power hitting. The power hitting.
Yeah, I mean, what happens if he gets injured and he has to have Tommy John? Then he's not batting for a year and a half, 2 years. So I think that it's kind of a sideshow thing. It's cool to look at. It's really neat, but in the long term, I think he'd be much better off, as well as the team, if he concentrates on hitting.
Absolutely. And speaking of pitchers that can hit, a $6 million Babe Ruth card is set to return to a Baltimore museum. This is the 1914 Baltimore News Babe Ruth. It's got a SGC grade of 3. There are only 10 copies of this card known to exist.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many of those are graded and what the grades are, but only 10 total exist. It will be on the display at the Ruth Birthplace and Museum for the holiday season. So that's cool.
That's incredible. I mean, you talk about putting Bambino. I mean, what a
Yeah.
card. It's one of the iconic cards in all of baseball card collecting. And I'd make a trip just to see that card. So
Yeah, I mean it's better served there than in somebody's safe, I think.
absolutely. I'm very happy to hear that the public's going to get to see it.
I just hope they have security at that Birthplace Museum. I'm sure they do. I'm
know
sure
they
it'll
will.
be protected around the clock.
Yeah.
Now, are you guys participating in the National Hobby Shop Day?
We
in
are.
December?
Yeah, December 11th, National Hobby Shop Day. We're going to have some specials in store, some giveaways, pizza. It's just going to be a fun day. We're going to have a complimentary break if you bring in a toy from Toys for Tots, any toy, and it needs to be in its original packaging. And once you bring that into the shop, we're going to put you down for an automatic entry for the first 30 people that do donate for a special in-shop complimentary break. 2012 SP Authentic Football. It'll be a lot of
Oh,
fun.
that's a good box.
Yeah. Russell Wilson rookie year.
Oh yeah, that's a good box and a great cause. That's a very cool idea.
Heck yeah.
I love donating to Toys for Tots and
It's a
get
time of
a
year.
little bonus out of it. That is cool. That Hobby Shop Day is sponsored by GTS Distribution. You guys are one of 150 hobby shops that are participating in that. So
Yeah.
if you're not in this area, look for one around you. Again, that's on December 11th. That'll
Yep.
be cool.
We're very fortunate and happy to be able to celebrate with GTS.
And we went over the painstaking MLB stuff at the beginning of the show.
Yeah.
But a couple things about the Astros, and then we can move on till next year. Okay. Dusty Baker's back. I love it.
Yep.
And Justin Verlander's back. I'm surprised and I love it.
I am I'm borderline shocked that Justin Verlander signed with us, but I'm extremely happy and thrilled. I think our pitching staff's going to be in fantastic shape for next season with all the young talent that we've got, with Lance McCullers coming back healthy and Verlander healthy. I think it's shaping up to be a tremendous lineup. So,
Yeah. I mean, if the bats wouldn't have gone silent, that's the piece you needed.
Yeah.
Verlander. So
absolutely.
really hammered home, get Dusty his first one, but Hayes got another crack at it next year. And looking forward to it. Now we're just kind of waiting on Correa. He had lunch with AJ Hinch, which was weird, but okay.
Yeah. Well, they're friends, so I'm just chalking it up to, hey, they're talking baseball. Something may or may not be going on. I don't know. My heart says, please don't let anything be going on. Let's just keep them here. But only time will tell. We'll see what happens. On another note, as far as free agents, we did lose Graveman to the White Sox. Our reliever that we picked up midseason, which I'll be honest with you, I'm kind of happy that we didn't meet that offer, because I think $24 million for 3 years for a reliever for the talent we've got on this team is completely unnecessary. So kudos to the Astros for not biting the bullet on that one.
That's a lot of money, and it'd be one thing if he was like Hall of Fame closer.
Yeah,
and he was good.
He was decent,
good,
but not $24 million decent.
And I've already resigned to the fact we'll never get another Billy Wagner. But,
oh gosh.
Or Bradley, even though he sent that one ball to the moon.
Just don't go to the reception with Billy Wagner. It's bad news.
Right.
Bad news.
Right. NFL. So this week, or previous weekend, Colts just completely shocked the Bills in Buffalo, 41-15.
Yeah.
And not only that, but like Jonathan Taylor's all of a sudden emerged as the running back in the NFL.
Yep.
Because of the injury to Derrick Henry. I mean, this guy, he had 185 yards, 5 total TDs, 4 of those were rushing, another one receiving. Leads the league 1,122 yards. This is the second year.
Yeah.
Okay, so like I said, with Derrick Henry on the way, I mean, this dude is going to lead the league in rushing. I don't see anyone else who could come close at this point.
Yeah, he's phenomenal. I mean, they're even talking MVP. Typically MVP is for quarterbacks exclusively for the most part. I mean, you've got your outliners here and there, but he's in serious consideration for MVP if he keeps his pace up. I mean, they absolutely obliterated the Bills on both sides of the ball.
Yep.
I mean, Jonathan Taylor is the real deal. Coming out of college, I thought he was one of the top 2 or 3 running backs coming into the league. So I'm not really shocked that he's doing what he's doing. The fact that he's doing it in his second year with I'm not going to say is the best offensive line in the league.
Right.
It is extremely impressive.
Right.
And so, the AFC South's been kind of wonky this year, but with the Titans and the Colts kind of vying for the division title, we'll see what happens down at the end.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, the Bills. I mean, they had a top-ranked defense, but they were without two of the starters due to both injury and COVID protocols, which is becoming a common theme. And we hadn't done the show in a couple of weeks, and Aaron Rodgers went through that whole saga of, we don't want to talk about all this specifically, but he was gone. The Packers saw their future in Jordan Love and were like, please come back. He came back and then is 1-for-1 since coming back.
Yes.
But, it's just this. The pandemic obviously is going to throw a wrench in things for years to come. It threw a wrench in stuff last year and this year. And the big thing is that it's another hurdle in addition to injuries, in addition to contracts. So people are just going to have to figure this out, move forward. But the Colts improved to 6-5, still 2 games back of the Titans because the Titans lost to the Texans 22-13.
Yeah.
And as we mentioned, Tyrod Taylor, we finally get a second wind because this guy did not look like himself last week.
No, he didn't.
And now he came back, and can you believe? So he had 2 rushing touchdowns, only the third Texans QB to do so. Watson, of course, but also Carr.
Oh yeah,
Carr did it.
I'm kind of surprised Matt Schaub didn't have at least 2 in a game.
I'm kind of surprised only because they got into the freaking red zone so much.
Yeah.
But
Arian Foster used to gobble it up though.
Oh yeah, and so the Titans fall back to 8-3, but again, still have a fairly commanding lead in the AFC South just because of the rest of their schedule and the Colts.
Still got a head-to-head with the Colts.
Yeah.
I'm torn. I'm a Texans fan, but at the same time, I'm torn because it's a lost season. We're going for a high draft pick. We've got some nice draft picks in the bank already, but it sure would be nice to get another number 1 or 2 to go along with those. So it was nice to see him win, though. It was a change of pace for sure. And
of course, weren't able to make a deal for a few more picks for Watson as of yet. So we'll see what happens in the offseason with that.
Yep.
Bengals beat the Raiders 32-13. Raiders are just they've had so many problems. We talked about the Gruden thing, okay, but they fall 32-13. They're total tailspin. They've lost the last 3 games. David Carr's brother, Derek Carr, just very inconsistent.
Yeah.
Very inconsistent. But I will say, as good as Burrow has played and as potentially explosive as the Bengals are, they had to rely on 3 field goals of 50 yards or more from Evan McPherson.
Yeah.
So,
talking about the Raiders, I don't know in my lifetime if I've ever seen a team facing more adversity than the Oakland Raiders.
Not in a season like this.
From losing their coach to losing their best receiver because of a horrific, poor decision, accident. It's destroyed a lot of lives, including his. And I just can't imagine the mental makeup of that team, what they're going through to focus on a weekly basis, to go out and give their best and put their best foot forward. I mean, I just can't imagine. I feel for the Raiders and the Raiders fan base and ownership. I hope that after this season they can right the ship and get back to where they need to be, because I mean the Raiders are a fun team to watch. When the Raiders are good, it's good for the NFL. So I hope that they can overcome all this adversity and come out the other side.
And they're in Vegas now. I mean, they're trying to establish themselves in Vegas. Mm-hmm. The NFL allowed that to happen, so they know that Vegas is a very important market. Yes. It still has a lot of room for growth.
Absolutely.
And they're going to have to get a big-time locker room leader.
Yeah.
When they do that coaching search, it better be intense, because they need an intense guy to come in there and really figure it out. And they have to see going forward if Derek Carr is the guy. I know that's like cliche about quarterbacks, but you really gotta figure that out sooner than later, because he's not getting any younger. And
Judgment Day's coming soon for him.
It really is. So the Raiders dropped to 5-5, which isn't too bad, but then you consider that's tied for last place with the Broncos.
Yeah.
And the AFC West. On the other hand, Bengals are 6-4, just one game behind the Ravens, which kind of surprised me.
Yeah.
Bengals have not made the playoffs since 2015, and they were a victim of the Texans. Bengals have not had a good time in the playoffs against the Texans.
Yeah, it seemed like for a few years there they were playing us in the first round, and we were giving them the business for a couple of years straight, as a matter of fact.
And I believe that's the team that Watt did the famous snatch and grab on.
Yeah. I was at the first playoff game Watt was in, and that's when he returned that interception for a touchdown.
Crazy.
Yeah, so the Bengals are not fans of the Texans, that's for sure.
And then something else that's happened is that Cam Newton wound back up as a Panther in
Right.
Carolina. Isn't that crazy?
More things change, the more they stay the same.
And he was talking about his hats, and I'm a nerd, and he would basically popped up at one of the conventions online, New York Comic-Con, and he was selling like $500 Superman hats. I'm like, oh, this dude's done with the NFL.
Yeah,
He's on the fat. He's done with the NFL. And then like 3 weeks later, he's back, and he's like marching them down the field, scoring rushing touchdowns again, infuriating fantasy owners who have any Carolina running backs because he's just poaching all the points.
Yeah.
I will say, however, that they did fall to the Washington football team 27-21. But again, Newton threw 2 touchdowns, had a third score on a rushing touchdown. Standout of that game, though, for me, Washington's Taylor Heineke. Like, he threw 3 touchdowns. He's been off and on, but he helped me win my fantasy football league this week.
Heck yeah, he was very impressive this past week. I was shocked. I'm like, who is this guy? Really, Heineke?
Yeah, and as far as the seasons for those teams, I mean, Washington's just 4-6.
Yeah,
anything could happen because hey, their division is not great. I mean, the Cowboys are doing okay, but I think 4-6 are still within reach in that division.
Yeah.
Cowboys, Eagles. I mean, that division has been sort of like faltering, going 8-8 and things like that. So now the Panthers, on the other hand, they're 5-6. However, the NFC South's tight. So I think you got a quarterback now. He wants to be there. The city wants him there. The team wants him there.
They got a fantastic running back, fantastic receiving.
I might have been wrong. I mean, like, Cam Newton's done some stuff where it's like, but maybe he just didn't fit in New England. I mean, maybe we're going to see him do what he was been doing. I mean, and so far he is. I mean, it's very impressive to me to just plug and play like that. You don't really see that with you would think especially a quarterback would have been super rusty.
Well, you've been in the league as long as Cam's been in the league and bounced around. I think that those butterflies and
gone.
And the rust is pretty much gone. So he's a pro. When he goes out there, he knows what he's doing. He may not have the physical tools that he once had, but the mental side of the game is most important when you're getting older, and I think that he's got that down. So I wish him the best of luck.
Oh, and now you got a chip on your shoulder, and from the whole situation he was in New England.
Yeah, of course.
So you never want to give anyone, as they say, billboard material.
Yeah.
And it's just
he's got
things that were said and done. It's like, oh yeah, I think he's ready to go.
Yeah.
And again, one of the biggest nightmares for fantasy owners of Carolina running backs. You might as well just drop them on now.
Right.
Just drop them. I didn't do anything. One other thing that happened over the last couple of weeks, Chris Paul moved up to 3rd all time on the NBA assist leader chart. I mean, look, when this guy was here, we already just said if he doesn't get hurt, Rockets win the championship with Paul and Harden, right?
Yep.
But on one night, he moved from 5th to 3rd. He passed Mark Jackson and Steve Nash. Those are already 2 legendary names. And personally, 2 of the best point guards I've ever seen. I loved Mark Jackson playing with Reggie Miller in Indiana. I just thought he's like a maestro.
Yep.
I enjoy his commentary. He had a great mind for the game. And Steve Nash, I mean.
Love Steve Nash.
Yeah. But in the game he did it, he had 18 assists in the Suns' win over the Pelicans. And now with 10,336 assists after that game, he trails only Jason Kidd, who has 12,091, and Stockton, a more substantial 15,000. and 806.
Yeah.
Do you think he's going to catch either one of those guys? I mean, that's a lot even to catch Kidd.
I think that there's probably about a 50-50 chance he's going to catch Kidd. Stockton, no.
No, Stockton.
Stockton's record, I think, maybe unbreakable. I mean, I don't like to say anything's unbreakable, but that is nearly out of reach. It's kind of like Nolan Ryan at 5,000 strikeouts. That record will never be broken for several reasons. Because the way the game's changed.
Yeah,
you don't pitch pitchers 140 pitches a game anymore. So there's some records that will never be broken, and I think perhaps that's going to be one of them.
He would have to average like 11 assists a game over 2 healthy 82-game seasons just to catch Kidd. And so you're talking about someone willing to use some veteran exceptions on him in the next couple of years, which they might. I mean, I know the Suns love him, and he's obviously they're a different team with him healthy, just like anywhere else he's been.
Yep.
But again, I really wish it would have worked out with the Rockets. I mean, especially what we're going through now.
And I'd like to see Paul win a title before his career's over. They came super close with Phoenix last year, and it was such a disappointment that he didn't get it. But tremendous player. Hopefully he gets it before he's done.
Just so close. But that about catches us up on industry news and sports talk. So I'm going to hand it over to you, and we're going to talk about cards.
Yeah. So new releases that are coming out in the next couple of weeks. This week we've got Chronicles Hobby Basketball, one of the most popular products of the year. It's going to have several different products within the Chronicles product that you can pull. Anything from the Recon to National Treasures and things of that nature. But super cool product. We've also got Mosaic Basketball that is super highly anticipated, coming out next week. We've also got Optic Contenders Basketball, another very popular product. The Optic is one of the most desirable names in sports cards, regardless of what it may be. And then we've got, for the first time, XR Football coming out. That was exclusively to Chronicles from Panini in the past. And so XR Football is going to be a huge release next week as well. So come on into the shop, get some packs, some boxes, bust them in the shop. We've got a nice place for you to open your cards and top load them and catch some sports on the tube while you're here as well. But come on in and say hi, and we'd love to see you at the shop.
Absolutely, and I just love the Chronicles. So I mean, because you get just so many designs in one pack, and being the pro product, and they're going to be like actual official rookie cards, not in college uniforms. It's going to be awesome.
And on that note, as far as cards, we do have another break coming up next month around the same time as the Hobby Shop Day. We're doing 3 boxes of Recon basketball, so we get 6 autographs. Lots of numbered cards and inserts, and that's going to run $30 a spot for random teams. So if you want to grab a spot or two of that while you're in the shop, I'd be happy to help you out. It's going to be a lot of fun.
We got to talk breaks soon. We got to give everyone a box breaking 101.
Heck yeah.
Because that is a whole different aspect of the hobby that definitely came to life during the pandemic.
Yep.
It was around before, but then it just became like all encompassing. And there's many different ways to do it, by player, by team, by random, boxes, cases, packs, like
numbers.
Numbers. I mean, it's some of those packs are so expensive. I've seen people do like the 2011 Topps update, like by the card.
Oh yeah, by the card, absolutely.
Yeah. And like a 86 Flair basketball would be a great example of that too.
Insane.
It would be insane.
Yep.
It would be insane. We're going to end it with another glossary term, cut signature.
Yeah.
So
it's a good one.
So a cut signature would be something most likely from a player that's no longer with us.
Yeah.
They're Angels in the outfield now, Angels in the end zone. But, it's something, maybe someone that's passed, they sign an index card, Topps or another company will buy that up, and they'll cut it to fit a card and just put it into packs.
Yeah.
My favorite cut signature from this year, and this shows my nerddom again, was Allen and Ginter had a Stan Lee cut signature.
That's incredible. I'm jealous.
Awesome. But Yeah.
My favorite cut signature that I own, I've got a Bob Cousy
Ooh.
encased cut signature, and it's taken from one of his checks.
Wow.
Really cool. Yeah, so it's just a signature off the check.
Checks are a very common thing.
Mhm.
That's kids. That's before debit cards.
Yeah.
That's what that is. But yeah, so thanks, Preston.
Yeah. Thank you, Mark.
Loved seeing the shop today. We're again in the Adventure Stadium studio here, and we'll be back with more Cards to Yards. So we're going to toss it back to you, Chaz.
On behalf of myself, Preston, and Mark, thanks for watching Cards at Yards, brought to you by the Adventure Stadium and the Adventure Begins comics and games located on 1488 next to a big old movie theater. We'll see you guys next time.